Hello, submissives. Are you entering the BDSM and kink world for the first time and you're excited but perhaps a little confused with some of the terminology regarding Dominatrixes or FemDoms or ProDommes or lifestyle, and you definitely want to avoid scammers? Well, I am here to help you. You have come to the right place. Welcome into the dungeon, the podcast for submissives to learn, grow, be entertained, hopefully, and ultimately find acceptance and empowerment in their submission. I'm your host, Kat Nash, the Music City Dominatrix, and today we're going to be going over terminology that I have seen confused online. A lot of people get into this world and they know that they're submissive and they know they're wanting a dominant woman, but they're a bit confused about terminologies. I see people entering ProDom groups and asking questions, and there just seems to be a lot of frustration. And since, as you know, I am here for the submissives, I'm here to help. So we'll get into it first by discussing the differences. The first one is lifestyle. What is a lifestyle dom or a lifestyle dominatrix? I'm so glad you asked. So a lifestyle dominatrix lifestyle is a term that's used in the kink community to refer to this is their actual way of life. This is not a role they play in the dungeon or a dynamic that they pick up occasionally when the mood strikes them. They are a lifestyle dominatrix, which means that any of their personal relationships, they're going to be the dominant one, or they're going to be the dominatrix in that relationship. Or perhaps they have several play partners. You can still be in the lifestyle and non-committed with one person or non-monogamous. Lifestyle could mean that whenever you go to a play space to play, you will always be the dominatrix. You will always be the dom. You are the big bitch in charge, the boss bitch in charge. So if you're looking for a really committed and long-term relationship, what you're going to be looking for in your dominatrixes or in your dominant woman is someone who identifies as a lifestyle dominatrix. So it is not, they do not use domination as part of their professional services. That doesn't mean that they are a professional dominatrix at all. No, they are a dominant in their everyday life. It's just a natural aspect of their personal dynamic. So that is what a lifestyle dominatrix or a lifestyle dominant woman or FemDom is. The next one is professional. Professional does not mean that they're the best of the best. Though you would hope that with a professional dominatrix, there's going to be some training, reading, and research that have gone into that position and experience. But a professional is also termed ProDom. They exchange BDSM-related services for payment. They operate within the professional capacity and offer a range of services such as domination, fetish exploration, role-playing, and the ProDoms are generally where you're going to get into things like blood play or sounding, needles, stuff like that. You really want somebody who's done their research in that arena, or that is something that can be explored within the confines of a safe and trusted relationship as well. I do not want to denigrate that potentiality. But yeah, a professional ProDom is one who exchanges money for their expertise, knowledge, their attention, their energy in a professional setting. They're typically provided, these sessions are typically in a controlled environment such as a dungeon or studio. However, when I first started, I booked hotel rooms. I know that sounds sort of ghetto, and honestly it kind of was, but a girl's got to start somewhere, right? So, and honestly, I'm shocked, pleasantly shocked that I never had management called on us. I mean, can you imagine trying to spank quietly? It's counterproductive. It's counterproductive. I mean, yes, there's a ball gag handy should the sub get a little noisy, but it's kind of hard to muffle spanks, especially when you like slappy, stingy toys over thuddy toys, which I do. Yeah, it was a challenge. But anyway, so the professional dominatrixes adhere to strict boundaries and safety protocols. And that means there are going to be very strict boundaries in place. For example, no sex, or no oral, or no kissing. I don't kiss either. And the safety protocols, which, could be stop with blood, or, the session is pretty well outlined and defined. And since it's not necessarily an ongoing, long-term, like trusted relationship, the constructs of the session are very well established beforehand. What the particular sub is into and wants to explore, etc., etc. The next one, one last word on the ProDommes. Typically, they have specialized skills and or training. So that is one of the aspects of a professional. So far we've gone over what a lifestyle dom is, what a professional or pro-dom is. The next one is FemDom. FemDom is a term that literally just means female dominant. It is someone who identifies as female and embraces a dominant role within the BDSM dynamics. So power exchange relationships and scenes or activities where they exert control over their subby partners. There's often, but not always, an emphasis on female supremacy or empowerment. This term is a broad, generalized term that can encompass both lifestyle and professional doms. I use it interchangeably: FemDom, ProDom, Dominatrix. I personally use all three of those. So a FemDom is a blanket umbrella term that can refer to either lifestyle or professional. And so then the last one I'm going to talk about here is scammers. And this is the one that a lot of people are looking out for, rightfully so. But then this is also one that I see a lot of really douchey, butthurt, and not butthurt in a good pegged way, but butthurt guys who are having a frustrating time finding the right FemDom out there, and they'll get online on these forums and say it's just a bunch of scammers out here. And what they're referring to scammers is perhaps FinDoms, which that's another one. FinDom, F-I-N-Dom, is a financial dominatrix, as opposed to FemDom, F-E-M-D-O-M, or D-O-M-M-E is typically the female form of that. But FinDoms are a legitimate thing. There are men out there whose kink it is to squander their money on women. And there are women out there who love to take men's money. I'm one of them. It is a kink of mine to receive money from men, but I do it in a very ethical, I have to have this strong moral compass with mine. I'm not judging anyone else, because here's the thing is, when this relationship is authentic and there's good communication and trust, it can be a beautiful thing. I've never experienced that, but I know that it's legit. There are people out there that it is their kink to give away their money and live frugally and hurt. Their form of masochism is financial masochism, and there are women out there that will take advantage of that. And so if this is you that I'm speaking to, if you are what is considered a pay pig, I just implore you to find a FinDom that you also trust. Okay, but anyway, so that was a little bit of a tangent. I'm talking about scammers. And scammers are individuals who exploit others for financial gain under false pretenses. And that's the key right there. It's under false pretenses. A FinDom is not a scammer. They're exploiting others for financial gain, but there's not false pretenses. They are, for the most part, open and honest about it. Now, a lot of times you'll see on FetLife or wherever, you're looking for a dominatrix, and you go to their site and they said, if you even want to talk to me, cash app me first or buy me something off my list. That's fine. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're not legitimate, but if you are not comfortable doing that, then there are ample other dominatrixes out there who are not going to require that up front. I am a professional dominatrix. I do live in-person sessions. I do a slight bit of virtual sessioning. I do not require payment as someone is getting to know me, especially when we are just vibing out to see if we're a good match. So if somebody comes to me and they're wanting a particular kink or they're wanting a particular they have something in their mind. I need to get to know what it is they're seeking, what their fantasy is, what they're looking for in a session or in a relationship. I need to know that before I can go ahead with the scenario. And if it doesn't vibe with me, I'm going to, generally I'm going to implore them to try to find whatever it is they're seeking naturally in a more organic and free way in the community. But if they've already exerted all of those avenues and they really just want to pay for a dominatrix, if they are wanting a session that's not something that I do, or perhaps I'm not that comfortable with it, or it's just not really something I'm interested in doing at this point, I will refer them to another dominatrix. Ideally, I'll have one in mind. I don't have a huge network, but there is one that I'm developing here in Nashville. So I will refer them to somebody who might vibe better with them. This is, to me, ethical and safe. They are not paying me to contact me to see if I'm going to be able to help them. Now, granted, I understand that a lot of women out there, they don't have the time or energy to weed through all these emails, and so they're going to say, hey, if you're serious about contacting me, don't even try contacting me unless you've cash apped me $20, $50, whatever. That's legit, because they have to read through a bunch of emails, and that is going to narrow down the people that are really serious. So I'm not saying that a dominatrix who is requesting money from the onset is a scammer. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that if you do encounter that, I suggest you look to see if she's got any reviews, if she has any public contact or conversations going on, like if it's on FetLife, see if she's posted in forums and boards, see if she looks legit, or if she's literally just some 50-year-old man sitting behind a computer posting pictures of some girls that he's finding on porn sites and scraping in the money. Because that's a scammer. That's legit. And like I said, a scammer is anyone who's going to take your money under false pretenses as well. So just keep that in mind. And honestly, I think that we really need to develop our intuition better. Guys need to begin to develop their intuition better and use a little bit of common sense when it comes to these things. So anyone who's requesting payment for service and they have no intention of providing that service is a scammer. So always communicate and vibe out the dominatrix to ensure safety, consent, and authenticity. And you'll be good. I mean, there are lots, there probably are a lot of scammers out there, but there's also a lot of legitimate women out there who are professional dominatrixes or starting out as newbie professional dominatrixes. So just look for the big red flags, which is anybody who is going to it just seems like all about money. Also, a big turnoff to me, but this might be a turn on to someone, so I'm not kink shaming anybody, but the sites where the dominatrix when you're reading her bio and she's just talking a whole bunch of shit about all guys are slugs and blah, 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 blah. I don't know. They might be legitimate, but for me, that's always been a question mark in my mind of, is this really a person? And if you are a dominatrix and that's your site, I would love for you to contact me and elucidate not just the mindset, because I can understand that, but how that works out for you. So anyway, I hope this has shed some light on the differences in your mind between lifestyle dominatrixes, professional ProDommes, FemDoms, FinDoms, and scammers, so that you can go forth with more confidence on your BDSM journey. Now, I would love it to hear if And you can feel free to email me, thewildcreatrix@gmail.com. You can find that on my website, KatNash.com, or find me on FetLife. I'm KatNash with a K, and it's just one word. And I love hearing from you guys. I'm so happy when people contact me with questions or comments about the podcast. That's extremely exciting to me. I like it. I'm here for the subs. So if you have any questions, or I would love to hear, if you don't mind sharing, any personal experiences you've had with scammers, because to be honest with you, I have not experienced much of that at all in this world. So I would love to hear people's experiences regarding that. Or even if you're listening to this on YouTube, share it down below to let people know what to look out for. In any case, thank you so much for stopping by. And as always, stay kinky, my pets. Until next time, thank you for joining me in the dungeon with Kat Nash.